In the summer of 2010, security researchers discovered a piece of malware that bypassed traditional digital targets to destroy heavy industrial machinery in the physical world. The target was the Natanz nuclear enrichment facility in Iran. This massive complex sits in extreme geographic isolation, walled off deep in the desert. Inside these halls, thousands of delicate, high-speed centrifuges spin uranium gas at supersonic speeds. These tall silver cylinders are required to produce nuclear fuel. By the mid-2000s, the United States and Israel faced a strategic trap. They viewed this enrichment as an unacceptable threat, but a kinetic airstrike on the facility would likely trigger a massive war across the Middle East. This political deadlock forced intelligence agencies to invent an invisible method to dismantle the facility from the inside. The solution arrived through a classified multi-billion-dollar joint program called Operation Olympic Games. Started under the Bush administration and accelerated by President Obama, it became one of the most sophisticated cyber sabotage efforts in history. But the operation faced a severe technical hurdle. The Natanz facility was completely disconnected from the internet. This is an air-gapped network. The critical control systems are physically severed from the outside world, making it impossible for a remote hacker to reach the facility's internal servers. Crossing this gap required a human asset. Intelligence services recruited Eric van Sabin, a Dutch engineer who did business in Iran and was married to an Iranian woman, the perfect background to infiltrate the complex. Van Sabin unknowingly carried the malware into the heart of Natanz. He planted the code by installing infected hardware, likely a water pump or a simple USB drive, directly into the plant's internal systems. This infiltration proved that human espionage remains the critical weak point in even the most secure digital fortresses. The weapon Van Sabin deployed, which was later named Stuxnet, required an investment of between $1 and $2 billion to develop. Once inside the Natanz network, the code exhibited a highly specific targeting behavior. It ignored every standard desktop computer and server it encountered. Instead, the virus was hunting for one exact piece of hardware, a Siemens Simatic programmable logic controller. These specialized controllers act as the industrial brain of the facility, translating digital code into the physical movements of heavy machinery. Stuxnet sought direct control over the physical machines themselves. After identifying the correct controllers, Stuxnet injected a rootkit that completely rewrote the centrifuge's operating instructions. The malware forced the delicate cylinders to spin at irregular, self-destructive speeds. This caused the hardware to vibrate violently until the components fractured and shattered. Stuxnet countered this physical damage with a sophisticated data spoofing loop. A red line represents the destructive commands sent down to the machinery. Simultaneously, it fed a pre-recorded loop of normal data back to the operators. The screens insisted the machines were functioning perfectly. This induced a state of deep paranoia. Iranian scientists watched their equipment break down in front of them, while their own monitoring systems told them nothing was wrong. Stuxnet's true power came from this combination of physical sabotage and psychological warfare, effectively blinding the operators to the destruction of their own facility. Initially, the sabotage was a massive success. This report shows that Stuxnet destroyed roughly 1,000 centrifuges, setting the Iranian nuclear program back by a year without the need for a single bomb. However, the mission was eventually compromised by a coding error. An engineer connected an infected laptop to the outside internet, and the virus failed to recognize that it had left the air-gapped environment of Natanz. Stuxnet replicated wildly, infecting over 100,000 computers globally. This leak exposed the highly classified code to the world cybersecurity community, revealing the fingerprints of the operation. Shortly after the attack, the Dutch mole Eric van Sabin died in a single-vehicle motorcycle accident in Dubai, adding a tragic and mysterious final note to the operation. While Stuxnet successfully prevented a kinetic war, it also legitimized the use of cyber weapons to cause physical harm. The operation proved that code could destroy a nation's critical infrastructure, permanently altering the mechanics of global